Hi everyone, this is Amy Belk with Tree of Life Health Coaching, and we're here with another cooking recipe today. So this is a really quick, awesome energy boosting snack for your middle of the afternoon blahs if you're feeling a little low in energy, or this is a great bar for if you didn't have time to eat breakfast and you're running out the door. You can grab one of these out of your fridge. They're going to be high in protein because they're made with almonds and cashews. They're going to be naturally sweetened with dates, and they're going to have some good fat content in them from the coconut oil. So we're going to run through real quick. I've already done a little bit of work just to keep the loudness out of the video. So you're going to use your food processor for this recipe. Let me show you what mine looks like. So this is a Braun food processor, and the bowl obviously goes on top of it here. If you've never used one before, they are amazing and they do lots of great work for you and save time on your hands. So the recipe is going to be a 1/4 cup of almonds, a 1/2 cup of cashews. You're going to use 2 cups of pitted dates. Now if you can find the dates in the grocery store pitted, great. If you can't, don't sweat it because the pit pushes out really easy. And if you've never bought a date before, they're like a giant, they're about this big. I already ground them up so I can't show them to you, but they're about this big and they look like a giant raisin. So you're going to go ahead and get those at the grocery store, and then also a 1/2 cup of dried apples. And you can buy those at the store, or if you'd like to dry your own apples, great, it doesn't matter. So you're going to put all of that in your food processor together. I would suggest putting in the nuts first and grinding those up until they are really small consistency. And this is a recipe you can kind of play with. If you like your nuts ground up more, then grind them up longer. If you don't, then you can leave them a little chunky. And then you're going to go ahead and add the dates and the apples and just grind those up. The dates can have kind of a thicker skin, so it'll take just a few minutes for them to get totally ground down into a smaller piece. If you wanted to avoid that time, you could always soften them in a bowl of water for about 5 minutes before you put them in your food processor. So I have the mixture already mixed up here, and you can kind of see that it looks a lot like granola, kind of like the granola bar recipe that we made a little while ago. So I'm going to go ahead and just dump all of this into a bowl. And I already have measured out my cinnamon, which is 2 tablespoons. So we're going to go ahead and dump that in with this. And then we have 3 tablespoons of the coconut oil, and it's already been melted. And you can kind of play with this recipe a little bit too. I would make it with the 3 tablespoons of oil to start with, but you may like a little bit less oil, so somewhere in the 2 to 3 tablespoons would be good. So you're just going to kind of mix this up with a spatula. You could also just mix it up by hand, which I will do here in just a second. And the great thing about this is that it's a no-bake recipe, so you don't have to spend time waiting for it in the fridge. You will have to do a little waiting for it in the, you won't have to wait for it to cook in the oven. You will have to do some time waiting for it in the refrigerator because we're going to put it in there after we mash it all up here. So I'm just going to finish mashing this up with my hands, making sure the cinnamon and the oil is getting all mixed up nicely. And then we are going to dump it out onto a pan. I have a cookie sheet here that is lined with parchment paper. And we're going to dump it out, and then you're just going to press it down flat into the thickness that you want to have your bars at. Now I usually just press it down, I don't know, maybe 1/4 to a 1/2 inch thick. And then if you've ever made pizza dough, it's kind of a lot like that, just that this is all crumbly. So you're going to try to just press it out evenly. And then when you get the middle pressed out, you're going to work your way around the edges and just try to tighten those up so everything sticks together. So, I don't know if you can see in the video, but my edges are kind of crumbly. So I'm going to go ahead and just use my hand like this and curve it around the edge and press up against my hand. And that will help the edges start sticking together. And the dates are sticky, and so is the oil. but depending on how much you grind up your nuts, which I kind of like mine a little chunkier, then the mixture could be, if you like your nuts chunkier, the mixture will be a little bit more crumbly than it would if you ground up the nuts a little finer. Now, if you are using a Vitamix blender to do this, your nuts are probably going to grind up pretty fine because those Vitamixes are super powerful. So we are just going to finish pressing this around. And my dog is barking, and you're going to put this in your fridge for probably about an hour and just let it set up. The coconut oil just needs to solidify, and then I would keep these stored in your refrigerator for up to 7 days, and you can go ahead and just cut them into squares to whatever serving size you like. That's kind of what it looks like, a nifty little pizza. And like I said, just put it in your fridge for an hour, and voila, they are ready. So I hope you enjoy. Thank you.